Welcome to JYW Online School of Science. One lesson a day, send your worries away. In this video, we are looking at types of formula for organic molecules. We have learned alkanes and alkenes from last lesson. We know that alkanes and alkenes, they both belong to hydrocarbon family. Now, alkanes are carbon-carbon single bond, so the functional group is carbon-carbon single bond. If I just write two carbons, that will be ethane, and the rest of the bondings are bonded with hydrogen. Now, ethene belongs to alkene family. Ethene is two carbon, means ethene as carbon-carbon double bond. Now each of the carbon have 4 covalent bonds. So for this carbon is 1, 2, 3, 4. For this one, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the functional group for alkene. Now alcohol, the functional group is OH. And then they bonded with the carbon chain here. And carboxylic acid, the functional group would be COOH. So this is a functional group for carboxylic acid, and that will be bonded with another carbon chain. Could be short, could be long, but sometimes we can write it in this way, COOH. Okay, so they all end up in their own names. Say, for instance, alkanes, ANE, alkene, ENE, alcohol, OL, and carboxylic acid is oic acid. So, for instance, methane, you only have got one carbon. That's methane, only got one carbon, and written as one carbon, so it's all bonded with hydrogen. So that's methane, CH4, methane. Now, if it's alkene family, you don't have methane, because you have to have 2 carbons to make up for alkene molecule. So the smallest molecule will be 2 carbons to start with. So we have 4 bonds for each carbon. So the smallest molecule will be ethene. So the name is ethene. So that's the functional group for ethene. And if we look at alcohol, we can have 1 carbon alcohol, so that will be methanol. We also can have 2 carbons, that will be ethanol. If I write in here, ethanol. So that is 1 carbon, that will be 1 carbon bonded with OH. The rest will be a hydrogen. Okay, the rest will be hydrogen. And ethanol will be 2 carbon, and you have a functional group OH. And then the rest of the bondings will be bonded with hydrogen atoms. So you write this way. So that will be methanol, CH3, OH. This is ethanol, CH3, CH2, OH. Okay, so that you can do the rest in the same principle. Now for the carboxylic acid, now if we have 1 carbon, because this functional group contains carbon atoms already, so that is already 1 carbon. So if this is only bonded with hydrogen, that will be 1 carbon, methanol. methanolic acid. So that's this. So it's HCOOH. So you can write this way. And if you have two carbons, 1, 2, the second one will be this functional group COOH. And here will be bonded with hydrogen. So that will be CH3 COOH. So what do we call it? We call it ethanoic acid. Okay, so that's that. That's methane. Here you can also do ethane, yeah, bonded with all the hydrogens. That's ethane, and you also can do propane. Yeah, so that's ethane, and so on. Okay, that is a functional group for each, and how you write the structure formulas and display formulas. Then let's look at this one here. Now let's look at the molecular structure. Molecular structure, that's do for ethane, for instance. Ethane, if I do ethane, C displayed, that's ethane. Now ethane will be double bond, that's ethane, bonded with hydrogen, right? So the alcohol will be two carbon, and here bonded with the functional group OH, and the rest will be bonded with hydrogen. And this one, 2 carbon, 2, but this one is already got a functional group COOH. Here is bonded with hydrogen. Okay, so if that's the case, let's write down the structure formula. That will be CH3, because this one's CH3, and CH3. And this one will be CH2, double bond, CH2. This one is CH3, CH2, OH. That one will be CH3, COOH. Okay, so the molecular formula, we just add all this up. So that's 2 carbon, C2, H will be 6. This one is C2, H4. Okay, that one will be C2. How many H? That's 3, 5, 6. 1 O. And here is C2, H3 plus this 1. That's gave you 4. And how many O's? 2 O's. Okay, so empirical formula, simplest ratio. So that's 2 to 6 is 1 to 3. So CH3. This one will be CH2, simplest ratio. And if you look at all that simplest ratio, has to be the same thing again. C2, H6, O, because you have to have O as well. Yeah, you can't just work out those two. You have to include that one. That one will be 1C, 2H, and 1O. Okay, the general formula for alkane, Cn, H2n plus 2. That one will be Cn, H2n. This one here, you see here, will be Cn, H2n plus 1. And then you have the functional group OH. See, just here Cn, H2n plus 1, OH. And that one will be Cn, H 2 2N plus 1 COOH. Yeah, I hope that makes sense to you. With regard to carboxylic acid, you have to be careful with how you predict the molecular formula for this group, because the functional group COOH already contains one carbon, right? So when you use the general equation CnH2n plus 1 COOH, you have to be careful that N needs to minus 1 so that you can make the right prediction for that molecular formula. Now, these again are the examples of carboxylic acid, and you can see that's one carbon, two carbons, 3 and 4, and they have contained this carbon in a functional group already. So you need to be careful with this. So when you're in the exams, when you are asked to write the molecules for this specific substances, don't write in this sort of formula, because that doesn't really tell you anything. You can either write in a structured formula way or displayed formula, but not this way. Okay, this is the first thing you need to be careful with. Secondly, it is really important to notice that when we name the carboxylic acid, we count the total number of carbon atoms, including the one in the COOH group. So, the propanoic acid has 3 carbon atoms in total, which is why it starts with prop. Right, so be careful with this. Thank you very much for watching. Many of you have lost a lot of learning opportunities at schools this year, and I hope these videos will make up for your school missing work. Our slogan is, one lesson a day, send your worries away. Don't forget to subscribe for more videos and click the bell button for more updates. Please do share with your friends if you like the video, and I talk to you again soon.